Hi everyone, and welcome to this live Q&A on the Santa Clara new Online MBA program. We're going to wait just a couple of minutes for people to join, but what we hope to do today, once we get started, is to talk a little bit about the Online MBA program that launches in January, and give you some insight to the differences between the online program and the on-the-ground program here at Santa Clara, as well as answer any questions that folks out there might have. My name is Nydia MacGregor. I'm the Faculty Director for MBA programs here at the Levy School of Business. This is my partner in crime.
Good morning, or good afternoon, evening. Hopefully we have a lot of people around the world. My name is Toby McChesney. I'm the Senior Assistant Dean of Graduate Programs here at Santa Clara University, Levy School of Business.
Right, so we're just going to wait for just a couple more seconds.
Grab some coffee.
Yep. And please share this video link with anybody that you think might be interested in the online program or the on-the-ground program for Santa Clara. Do you have a good Halloween?
I did. How was yours?
It was pretty good. It wasn't as eventful as sometimes it is. You had events at your house, though, I think.
Yes, so we ran out of candy.
Oh.
So we had about 400 trick-or-treaters, and around 300 I screamed to my friends, "Go get more candy." So we survived, but we had about 400 trick-or-treaters.
Emergency candy run. I'm sure that happens to people sometimes.
Yes. Now I know for next year not to give out 4 milk duds at a time. Maybe slow it down.
Hold back.
Hold back.
Hold back just a
yes,
little bit.
yes. But it was fun.
Right.
I think I'm in a candy haze right now.
Oh, so you actually ate all the candy. It's not that you gave it away.
Ate some. So, but we have our coffee, so that's good. So, cheers. Santa Clara. Tasty.
Well, I suppose we should get started. As I said earlier, this is a live Q&A about the new Online MBA program at Santa Clara University at the Levy School of Business. Again, my name is Nydia MacGregor. I'm the Faculty Director for MBA programs here, and I'm going to be talking today with my friend and partner, Toby McChesney. What we wanted to do first is talk a little bit about what the Online MBA program is, and then, and in particular, give us a contrast between the Online MBA program and the on-the-ground program. But first, maybe Toby, you can tell us a little bit about the landscape out there for online programs in general, and then we can jump into our specifics.
Yeah, so I think it's important, and actually, ironically, today is my 1-year anniversary of being in Bronco Nation. So I boarded a plane from Atlanta, Georgia, where I was previously. One-way ticket, landed a year ago today to join Levy School of Business, and what really excited me about joining Santa Clara, I came from a very large research public institution and wanted a smaller kind of vibe. And so we have, in our graduate programs, we have 740, to be exact, MBA and Master of Science students. So we have 3 MBA programs here at Levy and 4 Master of Science programs. And so I was excited about that, but I was also very interested in leading and helping the school with the online MBA program. So I was at Georgia State University for 8 years, and for whatever reason, we just couldn't get an online program going, and I always was kind of jealous of my peers across the country launching an online MBA program. So when I heard that our dean and the faculty and trustees here at Santa Clara were really excited about an online MBA, I said, definitely Santa Clara's for me. So hit the ground running, and we made some major tweaks and improvements to the evening MBA program, which we will talk about. We've had some amazing wins here at Levy, and it's been fun to help lead that. So in my role, as Nydia knows, but for obviously our viewers, so I oversee admissions, student services, and career services. So what that means is I see the whole time span of our graduate students, again, for all of our grad programs here at Levy. So the Online MBA will be our 7th program come January. So when you apply, not if, but when you apply to our Online MBA program, just know that you'll see Nydia and I quite a bit virtually, but also you have a great support staff that will also help you through your 2-year online program, and we'll talk more about the details of that. But definitely Online MBA is one of the up-and-coming programs in the universities and in kind of the ecosystem. We're seeing employers really gravitate towards that as well and really celebrate an MBA and online, on-campus, hybrid. There's so many things out there, but now at Levy, you can do both, which is exciting.
So let me talk a little bit about maybe the differences between the on the ground and the online, or the places where they're similar. And I would say at first they're more similar than different in some ways. And that's because the curriculum itself and the content is the same across both programs. Toby made an allusion to relaunching or refreshing our program last year. What we did is we really heightened the relevance, the innovation, and really the connection between best practices with people in Silicon Valley and sort of bringing them to life here in the classroom to prepare students, but also to make it highly relevant. We often hear from students that they'll learn something in the classroom one evening, and the next day they're able to apply it at work. And it's not just exciting, but it really speaks to the value of the program for students and lets them know that they're really able to change their career trajectory, right, to make that inflection point after they're done with their MBA. So in that way, the content being the same means that those are very similar programs from that perspective. Right. It's all about the scheduling, though, and the interface that's a little bit different. So in the online space, what that means is that the structure of every course is on a weekly basis, meaning the modules span over a week, but each student gets to define for him or herself the flexibility to decide when they're going to get all of that work done, as opposed to showing up Tuesday and Thursday or Monday and Wednesday, which would happen in the on-the-ground program. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's definitely fair.
And then the student some students like to take things at a measured pace, a little bit at a time every day. Some students would rather, hit the ground Friday night and do most of their work for the entire week. And with the online MBA program, you can make that sort of choice. I think that you mentioned there are some students who prefer that kind of schedule.
There are, sure. So what happens is what we've seen. So we are, for those that don't know, we're about 45 minutes from San Francisco, the heart of San Francisco, without traffic. Keep that in mind. So what we see is if you live in San Francisco or Oakland, or you live in Portland, Oregon, wherever you live, and you've always wanted to do an MBA program at Santa Clara, given our brand and our rankings, and we should mention our great rankings. So as Nydia mentioned, the programs online and evening are identical. Obviously, one's online, one's on campus, same curriculum. So we were ranked in March, top 25 by U.S. News and World Report for part-time MBA. So that same stature also is applied to our online MBA program, which is exciting. But what we're seeing is with traffic and families and consultants, a lot of people in the Bay Area.
Schedule, right.
Monday through Thursday, you are traveling to Boston for work. How could you ever do an on-campus program? So that's why our online MBA program is very flexible for the working professional or the person that just wants to kind of do it at their own pace. It's really a nice combo pack, so to speak. So that's another kind of exciting thing with our online MBA program. Yeah.
Building on that, I should mention that the professors that teach in the online MBA program are the same professors that teach here in the on-campus program. And it is those same professors that actually author every course, meaning they take a look at the content that they have, that they know that they want to cover, and they match it with a really dynamic and interactive environment online. In some ways, the only using tools that you can only use online differently than you might be able to use tools that you can only use on the ground. And so that's another way that we ensure that the program is innovative and that it matches the same quality as our on-the-ground program. The other thing I would say about it is that we bookend the program with 2 intensives. So the first intensive takes place at the very beginning of the program and covers most of the material for our Leading People and Teams course. Right. And then the end intensive is a course that's called the Challenges In course, which allows you to go deep dive and basically leverage everything that you've learned across the 2 years of the program in that one intensive weekend. Let's see.
And you're on campus, so you get to see us again live. We'll shake your hand. We like to do a celebration toast at orientation, so you also get an orientation from our staff, and we'll give you a tour of our campus. And we debate about doing that today, but we have construction on campus, and they're cutting grass, so we didn't want to be too loud. But we do have a beautiful campus if you're not familiar with Santa Clara or the Bay Area. So when you come to the 2 residencies, you'll definitely obviously experience that. You'll get to go to the bookstore. You can buy this fabulous mug, this Santa Clara tie. If you can see it online, I'm not sure if you can see it actually, but it is a Santa Clara tie. And really see our facilities, go to the library, get your ID card. So you are a Santa Clara student. You're just virtually online the majority of the time. So coming to that residency is a really unique part, and definitely a lot of online MBA programs do not have that touch feature with the students, which is really exciting, I think.
That's right, and it helps people coalesce around what it means to be a Bronco, right, and what it means to be a Santa Clara student. Right. It also gives them the opportunity to get a sense for campus and to know that if they're able to, any networking events or other kinds of events that we have ongoing throughout the year, they're welcome to do that, and they would feel comfortable sort of slotting in.
So I think let's jump to Silicon Valley.
Oh, yeah.
So when I moved out here, Silicon Valley to me was very, what is Silicon Valley?
What do you mean, what is Silicon Valley?
I didn't know, I knew Facebook and Google, but until you live here or actually visit here, it's sort of awe-inspiring, to me at least. So we really are purposeful, given our location, of course, to really bring Silicon Valley to our students and vice versa. So as Nydia mentioned, we did retool our evening MBA program. So we added in a core analytics course so that all of our students have to take analytics. Same with Online MBA, which is exciting. Yep. So Santa Clara is really hanging their hat on the analytics space. We also designed a brand new course, Doing Business in Silicon Valley, that you would take in the earlier quarters of your Online MBA program. Right. And again, we're bringing in speakers from various companies, Google, Facebook, etc., IBM. VCs, there you go. So there's a lot of touch points with Silicon Valley
that are really, really incorporated, and I would say not just set the stage, but are these bright threads that grow throughout the program, right? Yeah. So we have some of these core courses that help define those attributes, but that is carried through so that other faculty members use cases that are based in Silicon Valley. They talk about, it might be a finance class or a supply chain class, but they're still talking about innovation. It's not just in a new product innovation marketing class that you might get that. I think the other thing that we have going on is that, in particular, a differentiator for the online program is our Silicon Valley Professional Dashboard. Mm-hmm. And this is what I would call an electronic portfolio, and allows students to monitor, curate, and to really visualize what the plan is and the personalized path they'd like to take, both while they're here, but also from a career perspective. Yes. So while that is innovative and it's really grounded in the skills and values of Silicon Valley, it's also something that we think is a differentiator for the online program in general in comparison to any program across the nation.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see. I think that some people might wonder, though, if you're in an online program, how you would actually connect with people, right? You're kind of distant. Sure. We're not all here on a regular basis. Yeah. And one of the things that we've done is we ensure that coursework includes group work. So groups meet virtually. Of course, you can meet with your faculty member virtually as well, in addition to any of the just interactive features of the courses as you go through. The other thing is the program is small.
Yep, that's true.
So, we already have a relatively small program here on the ground program, but our cohort size is about 20, 22 people for the online program. So that means you're actually always working with sort of a tight cohort of people that have begun to arrived at the same time, but also go through the program together. And so that also brings a lot of community connection and gives you a sense of home, even if it's virtually.
Yeah, so that's a good point, Nydia. So do your research, obviously. So there are a lot of online MBA programs out there, but to Nydia's point, and given kind of our Jesuit notion and really having a small, tight-knit community, we really are believing in that 2022 cohort base. But again, do your research, because some online MBA programs are definitely not that small. So you kind of lose that control and that kind of direct connection with our amazing faculty members, and of course when you're on campus as well. Well, it's also exciting, as Nydia's mentioned, we do have a vibrant evening MBA program on campus. So if you live in the Bay Area or you happen to just travel to the Silicon Valley area and you want to stop by campus, of course you can do so. We have a lot of different career workshops and different workshops on building your network, resume review, LinkedIn. We do some fun social events. We have some wineries in the area, as I'm sure you know. So we take our students to do wine events. You have to pay on your own, of course, but another kind of chance to really get to know the MBA, MS students on a deeper level. So that's all open to our online MBA students, which is unique and exciting, I think.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, they're fully fleshed, our students as well, just like anybody in any program.
Yeah.
Let's see.
What else could we tell you? I'm just trying to think.
I know.
See, now I'm still in a candy phase. I apologize.
I wonder if there are any questions that people have posed.
Yeah.
So let me just ask folks out there, if you have any questions, please be sure to pose the questions and we will address them as they come in.
Right.
Let's see. One more.
Oh, we're getting questions right now.
Let's see. Okay. Here's a question. Is there a cost or tuition difference for the online MBA?
So they're the same. So the cost for online and evening MBA program is roughly around $75,000 total for the two-year program. That includes your tuition, fees, does not include books, or when you're here on campus for the residencies, does not cover your airfare or hotel or whatnot, but it does cover the tuition and the fees part of the program. Right. So yes, they are identical.
Yeah. This is another question. How will online students feel like a cohort? Oh, okay. So we talked a little bit about that. So there's a small set of people who all start at the same time, take their core courses together, and so there's a very cohort-y feel from that perspective. Of course, you meet those folks in your intensive when you begin. So I would think that that's one of the biggest ways that you start to feel like a cohort. Right. Is that you're all going to be in it together from the beginning, and you get that initial connection with one another when you're here on the ground.
But what's exciting too, so yes, your first few quarters you are cohort in your core classes, but as you get to your elective phase, you'll start taking electives summer, I believe, correct? So when you start taking electives summer and beyond, the other online MBA students, so we actually start, which is probably a question, we start the online MBA program every quarter. So winter, January will be our first launch. We'll start again in March. Then again in June, we're in the quarter system, and then again in September. So every quarter we're bringing in 2022 online MBA students. So when you get to your elective phase, the other online MBA students will pick and choose their electives too. So you may be a cohort of 20 for the core classes, and then 10 of you may decide to do this marketing elective, and 10 from the spring cohort may decide to do the marketing elective with you all. So then that's another 20. So it's a nice building block, and it also, obviously broadens your horizon and network, which is great. Yeah. Great question so far. What else is out there?
Oh, here's another one that's come in. Let's see. How will online students benefit from the Silicon Valley contacts of the LSB? Maybe you could talk a little bit about that, especially it relates to maybe alumni.
Sure. Yeah. So we will hit 100,000 alums from Santa Clara overall. So go Bronco Nation, yes. Yeah. And we are deeply rooted in Silicon Valley. So we are known as a Jesuit university in the heart of Silicon Valley. That's our tagline. And I really do see that. So what's amazing to me, where I sit, and again, only been here for a year, but the alums that are really reaching out to us to wanting to help our students, they want to mentor students, open the doors, is truly amazing. And we've already talked to numerous alums that are very excited about our online MBA program. So definitely, there's great contacts out there from our alums, and then through the Silicon Valley dashboard and the Career Center down the road, definitely you will meet a lot of great professionals in Silicon Valley that will help you with getting you a job in Silicon Valley or elsewhere. So that is definitely our theme, Silicon Valley.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Which is exciting. Yeah.
Let's see. Do we have another one?
We have a stack.
What do you believe the advantage of SCU online MBA program is over other MBA programs? Okay, well, so I would first, obviously, we have a deep connection with Silicon Valley. I don't think anybody else can claim that. Other people can talk about innovation or entrepreneurship or those kinds of things. It's in the water here, and we've made sure to incorporate it all the way throughout the program in a way that's authentic and really well-grounded in what we know to be relevant for Silicon Valley professionals. Do you want to say anything else?
Yeah, so again, I think do your research. So there are a lot of online MBA programs out there. So first look at accreditation. That is definitely important. So we are AACSB accredited. We were one of the first business schools in the state of California to be AACSB accredited. We actually are, some people don't know this, some people think the other school down the street is, but we are the oldest and first established university in the state of California.
That's correct.
1851, so a few years back. So do your research though, because there are online MBA programs out there that may not be accredited by AACSB, and that is the gold standard of business school world. And ironically, which is I think exciting, our dean, Karen Beck-Dudley, is the next chair of AACSB. So if Karen's watching, I bet she is. We're very proud to have our dean be the chair of AACSB. So definitely, we're obviously accredited. So I would,
which speaks to the quality of the program.
It does speak to the quality of the curriculum, the faculty, the students we bring in.
That's right.
Also, what I would look into is, again, that size. So do you want to be in a smaller cohort like ours, or do you want to be in a big kind of group and maybe kind of lost in the sea, so to speak? So really ask when you're applying to various programs, what's your average class size? And really kind of, really ask that question. And also ask them how they're connecting the online students with the on-campus students. We've definitely talked about that here.
Right.
But ask those questions because there may be a disconnect. So do your research.
That's right. I would certainly say not all online MBA programs are created equally, for sure. Especially because models tend to be where you get really large class sizes with then TAs that are dealing with sections, whereas we don't have any TAs, at all at Santa Clara.
Right. Good questions.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
I'll take one more here at least. What will be involved in the Silicon Valley Professional Dashboard? What classes or activities? So the Silicon Valley Professional Dashboard is, as I said, it's grounded in the skills and values that are needed here in Silicon Valley for an innovative and vibrant career. Basically a career that will prepare you not just for the pivot that's happening now, but the multiple pivots that will happen throughout your lifetime. So that's one piece. But what it means is, as we've gone through and defined what those skills and values are, we've ensured that every class that you encounter names and enhances each one of those, and as you go through, it's data driven, so you actually see how you're making progress as you go through the program on each one of those skills and values. That also means, Toby commented about electives at the end, toward the end of the program, that when you get there and you're trying to make choices, you can make really informed choices about what's really best for you. And again, it's data driven, so you can see, I've really got a lot of competencies in, innovation and communication skills, but I need more competencies in data analytics. Okay, great. I'm gonna dive in there. It also gives you a platform for taking work that you've done or taking activities and achievements that you've done and sending them out to a mentor to get feedback from that mentor to help you then further define and refine what your program path is going to be.
Right.
We're really excited about it.
It's a neat dashboard.
It's great.
Really
I'm sorry that I don't have a screen here, but right. Soon we would be able to show you actually what it looks like and how it really encapsulates in some ways the idea of fun and data driven and a little gamification for your process and your program as you go through.
And again, that's a very unique thing that we're seeing
that's
for
fine.
our online MBA programs.
Yeah.
So I see another question on the corner of my eye, which is a great question, start dates. And so we are launching our program again in January. So the deadline to apply for the winter cohort is December 8th. And we do require, obviously, an application. We require 2 letters of recommendations, an interview. So the interview would be either with myself or Kyle Sanford, our Director of Admissions, or Amanda Brem, who's our Assistant Director of the Online MBA space. We really like that interview because that's a chance for us over Zoom, if you don't live in the Bay Area, that's fine, but to really kind of hear why Santa Clara and why our online MBA program and why you'd be a good fit for the program. We look at your undergrad transcripts, of course, your resume, and we do require 3 years of work experience. We do really focus in on that because, again, we want our professionals to have deeper conversations about their jobs. Mm-hmm. And we do require either the GMAT or GRE with a case-by-case consideration for a waiver. You would contact admissions for those kind of nuances. Yeah. So, but great questions. Yes.
I think the other thing I would add is, most of our requirements sound standard, but as we sit and evaluate somebody, we're really evaluating them holistically.
The whole person, yep.
Right? It's the whole person. It's about who you are as an individual and the kind of engagement you have with your community and why you think this program would be a good fit for you.
Sure.
Let's see.
Last question.
Let's see. I missed your information about class sizes for online as well as the on the ground. Could you repeat? Sure. So I'll take the online. So our class sizes online are 20 people per class. That's the cohort size we're starting with, and as you go through your core courses, that's what you would experience. It's a little different from the on the ground program, though.
So on campus, we bring in we have 420 total evening MBA students. And we bring in roughly about 100 every fall and 40 in the spring. So 140 each year.
And when you experience a course in on the ground class, on average, the number of students per class?
35 to 40 tends to be the average. At the core classes and electives, it kind of depends on the students, what they're trying to do. But still is a small class size, though.
It's relatively speaking.
Just like the online MBA. Again, we feel very strongly in having a direct connection with your faculty members, which is great.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So if we could leave you with anything, what we'd like to say is Online MBA starts in January. Admissions is December 8th is the deadline for that. We have some information for you if you need more specifics or you don't remember all those dates that we just said. You can email onlinemba@scu.edu for questions. Let's see, November 15th is the info session that's here.
On campus at 6 p.m.
That's right. Or there's a webinar coming up as well, where you can review some of this information, but also maybe have some time to think about specific questions you have, and you could pose them at the webinar. And that's November 21st.
At 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Yep.
I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you all. Hope to see your application soon.
Yes. Take care and go Broncos.
Go Broncos.